Well, I'm glad you're still here in business today. We're in for our insight, and we have a very interesting discussion that we're going to be looking into, rather a conversation today. Now, with me in the studios is Semulimi Moses, and he's going to be discussing with us. We've had him here before on a couple of issues, and we're going to be talking about skills and a number of things. He is the General Secretary of Katwe Metal Fabricators, and there's so many various, branches or, sectors that he'll be talking to us about. But first of all, you're welcome.
Thank you much.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here. This is the second time here.
Yes.
And I feel so blessed.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, tell us about Katwe Metal Fabricators.
Well, Katwe Metal Fabricators cluster, we are a triple helix formation of the public sector, that is the Ministry of Trade, Tourism and Industry, now cooperatives, Makerere University, the former Faculty of Technology, which is now called SEDAT. Okay. That is College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology. It has got a section called Innovation Systems Clusters and Clusters Program. Then, and with the Katwe Artisans, that's what we call the triple helix.
Okay.
Now, what is a cluster? Katwe Metal Fabricators cluster. We are people in a given geographical location. That is now Neba, Katwe, Machin, and part of Kisenyi, doing the same, similar or related jobs that is now in the metal industry. For us, we think of metal and the hammer. That's why we round around. Metal and the hammer. So when we do related metal, there are those who deal in the metal, who transport metal, who work in the metal, who do metal. And we fall in the 7 sectors. Okay. That is post-harvest agriculture, mining, oil and gas, manufacturing, transport, and construction. Okay. Yep.
Interesting. So what are the jobs that you do in terms of your metal work?
Basically, we do manufacturing and services. Okay. For example, in transport, we repair vehicles, we manufacture some parts. When it comes to construction, most of the structural metal work now, 100% of the structural metal work in construction is made from Katwe, except that this aluminium, for the aluminium, that we're not yet there. But basically, when it comes to spare parts and construction and transport, basically that's where we are.
Okay. Now, we're looking at the private sector foundation here in regards to the Skills Development Fund. You are part of this?
Yes.
How did you get to be a part of this entire process?
This is very interesting now. Yes. First of all, Private Sector Foundation identified us. We've been working with them for quite some time. They identified us. There's in Uganda, there's what we call Okuvuya, Twalinga Tuvuya. So they identified us, and we really needed help. So they identified us, and they told us to apply for the Skills Development Fund. Okay. Now, what is Skills Development Fund? It's for enhancement of the skill which you already have. So we are working, but our levels of working were below standard. Okay. So we needed training, and they asked us what are the skill gaps. So we told them, we gave them the skill gaps. We carried out the TNA, that's the training needs assessment. And we knew what do we need, what do we require, and then we put everything on the table to them and said, this is what we are, and they funded it.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting. Now, this particular project, we're looking May 2018 to May 2019. Were you among the first people to be a part of?
We are not, because our number was 763.
Oh, so it's a huge project.
It's a huge project. But for us as Katwe, we are just happy that we are part of those who are being among
and identified.
Yes, identified. And again, the other advantage that private sector is just a stone throw away from Katwe.
Yes.
So we've been plying there, going there, being mentored, working with them, and really, we've had we're swimming in our own waters.
Interesting. Yes. So the private sector foundation is working with you on things like training the youth?
Yes.
Okay, so are they funding this particular process?
Yes. The training they are funding, I can say it is not a training, but it is a skills enhancement.
Oh, okay.
A skills enhancement. The reason why I call it training, because the word is simply, the word training means it's a process which you go through, and you're able to do something which you are not able to do before the training. Yes. So you might be knowing, but your level of knowledge might be a little low. Maybe the basics, the fundamentals, but now when you get trained, you get into the specifics, and then at higher levels, and that one's called the cognitive domain of Bloom's taxonomy, 1957.
Okay.
You know, there are levels of understanding.
That is true.
Yes, there's remembrance level, knowledge level, application level, analysis level, synthesis, and then evaluation. So the levels. So for us, we've risen a level because of the SDF training.
Okay, and this has worked for you?
I should say it has, except that it's not easy to see by the ordinary eyes.
Yeah.
Because it is latent.
Yeah.
Actually, this is now the first program we're having with the PSFU, though it is the first of its kind since independence. There has been no such type of training in Katwe. It has never been there. This has been the first one. And the good thing is that we are seeing the developments, except that they are latent. So we are appealing them to give us another training so that even the public can see the benefits and the outcomes. Because the outcomes now we see, which we have now are latent. They are within.
Yes.
For example, changing from within, someone says that I have saved, praise the Lord. I'm saying that person has changed, but you cannot see the physical change, the physical and visible change. So also with this one, it's latent because we are trained. So what? You could expect me maybe to come here with a swelling stomach, with a very shining bald head, with the Harrier Kaundo packed there. That's the change which the public can see.
Yes. But
the change we have is latent within us. We do what we call clean working now, efficiency, effectiveness. You know? And
this is some of the things that, let's dwell into it because you've talked about it, the things that you see have been of benefit to these young people, even to you, even, you know, as the private sector foundation is working with you, some of the things that you can say have, have been benefits out of this.
I should start with myself, mentorship. You know, in Katwe, I've told you, we think of the hammer.
Yes.
And the metals, that is all. You know, that is all.
Yes.
Now, when we come, we go to this, they usually call us, we have got a number of interfaces with them. We brush shoulders with them, with meetings with them, and conferences, you know, and the debates and trainings. So we get elated mentally. And then this is a World Bank project. World Bank is World Bank. There's a level in which it works. So now in the Katwe, people like us to be working at the levels of World Bank. That is great to us, the leaders. Now when it comes to the young people we've talked about, knowledge, you know, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So we've been trained, they have had knowledge, and not only knowledge of the head, but even the skill. That is the head, hand, and the heart. So it has been something which is tremendous. And it has been a conglomerate, because when you give someone a skill, you talk about safety, he talks about a toolbox talk, he talks about ends orientation. I think this is so great to us.
Okay, now things like the workshops that you have and things like that, let's dwell into that and the other benefits that come with some of these things.
Now PSFU did not fund the training only, but also the machinery, the boat machinery. You know, there's what we call degree of freedom.
Yes.
Degree of freedom, the level of application of systems. Degree of freedom 1, that is man and the tool. You get, if you want to cut a piece of metal, you get a hammer and a chisel and the hammer. That is man and the tool. Then degree of freedom 2, that is man and the machine tool. For example, you get a grinder or hand drill. So there's degree of freedom 3, that is man and machine. Degree of freedom 4, that is man and the programming machinery. That's degree of freedom 5, that is man and the robots. Robotics, that is the computer numerical control. So we're in between man and the tool, and man and the machine tool, and man and this simple machinery.
Okay.
Now, when PSFU, it came in, the project came in, they bought force machinery.
Oh, that's nice.
So now, I think that can talk for itself. If you have a machine, you are going to work efficiently.
Yes.
You are going to reduce on the costs, on the time of work, on the stress. We gain the confidence and reliability. So what can I talk about? If someone buys for a machine, it's like has given you a hook to hook. He has equipped you. So what else do I have to talk about?
Instead of giving you the fish, they've handed you.
Yes. So we are very happy about that.
I did. Yes. That's very true. So there is an exhibition?
Wow. Now there's an exhibition which was from 7th to 9th in May.
Okay.
They called us and they funded us. Imagine someone calls you, come and exhibit. At the same time, he funds the exhibit.
Wow.
He gives you the transport, he gives you the lunch. So what I told you, mentorship. That's why I told you that we're swimming in our own waters. We made the contacts, we made the ministers, we talked, you know, we had interface with other institutions. So to us, this was so great.
Interesting. Yes. So let us look at the number of trainees that you know you have who have gone through you.
We had, according to our program, 50 welders and 20 mechanics, motor vehicle mechanics. But because it was an open air training and everyone was welcome, so we ended up having 120. So the result was overwhelming. But the program funded 70 and is also going to fund them to sit for exams in the Director of Industrial Training, Ministry of Education and Sports, so that they get the certificates which are called Workers' Pass. Yes. That pass is called Practically Acquired Skill, and it is internationally recognized. Okay. So that is the level in which we're going. Okay. Yes.
Now that you're working with a private sector foundation in Uganda, how who is eligible to come? Who can come to you and say, I want this training? Does anyone show up, or there's certain requirements you need?
Or in Katwe or in PSFU?
No, in Katwe, because now you have the funding, you have the machinery. Who should come to you
at first,
who qualifies?
At first, when we made the training needs assessment, we approached the people who we saw. And we actually had a lot of rejection because when people Ugandans with training, they've got a negative mental attitude about it. So we identified by ourselves. But when it caught up, when it started, many people came by themselves because there are a lot of catchments. Okay. First of all, the training was in Uganda. The training was started between 8 to 9 before people start working. PSFU funded the eating. So people would come and they could healthy break. Very good one, Sheraton standards. Because we had outside catering, they could come with an egg, sumbusa, milk tea.
So people were like, okay.
Yes. So everyone came for the training. And because this was Katwe thing, so we told them when it comes to it, bring as many as possible. Okay. So that's why. So
what does it require? Can anyone come to be a part of these trainings?
I think you've not got me well. Or I saw that we had 70 official ones.
Also, all the other, because it was a
yes. 70 officials,
but have limitations.
Yes, but the other one, because we are training in open air, we could see the training was, I can say, tailored to suit our standards. Okay. No sitting chairs, no, you could just come there and get the information. So many people could just come like a mob, kind of. Okay. Yes. That's very interesting.
So, do you have any sort of supervision, monitoring that comes from PSFU rather?
That's one of the biggest challenging things to us. PSFU, each and every coin they give you, you have to account for it. I've told you, should that be a bad thing? World Bank standards. But I told you, for us, we are Hammer people. You are man. Now today, accounts come, bring this documentation and writing.
So you get someone to do the documentation for you.
That's what I've told you, that let them fund us for the next one, then we raise the level. But let this one be maybe a pilot. But each and every coin they monitor, they see, they evaluate, and I'm happy to note that Katwe, they selected us to be among the people who World Bank came and they visited physically to see the program on the ground. They came, I could see Europeans with big long noses, with big, they could come professors, doctors coming to Katwe, to Katwe, really to us. We said, wow, thank God. And apparently, they told us that we responded to them very well, they saw.
Yeah, they saw good work.
Yes.
Okay, that's very good and interesting. Well, they need to add you money so you can get people that are into the whole book stuff to give them all the details instead of putting you under pressure.
Yes.
For you want to just hands-on stuff.
Yes, hands-on.
Interesting. Sorry. Now, the people that are watching us will definitely want to know much more about this. Now, I'll give you a few minutes as our time has run out. Finally. To talk to the people out there in regards to how you're partnering or how you're working with the Private Sector Foundation under the Skills Development fund and what this means to us. This is your camera. You're going to look into this camera and give a final word.
Okay. All right. Now, first of all, what is a skill? A skill is an ability to perform a task. So here in Uganda, the biggest problem we have is that we don't have the basics of training. We are not properly trained. You just come, you find yourself doing something. So with this skill enhancement from Private Sector Foundation we've been having, we've been doing things a little simpler, cheaper, better, and nicer. So that means we've attained what we call, or can call it confidence and trust from the public. So I could appeal to Ugandans to see to it that let people be trained. If you're not trained, you never perform. When you're effective, you're not efficient. When you're efficient, you're not effective. Yet you need both of them. So we've been trained and we're happy about it, and we can do better.
Well, thank you so much. Semulimi Moses, who is the General Secretary for Katwe Metal Fabricators Cluster. So many areas you can find them. And of course, working with, the Private Sector Foundation under the Skills Development Fund. They applied and they qualified. So, which means they're pretty much doing a great job. I must say, you're also doing a great job, of course. Private Sector Foundation doing a great job, and you being a beneficiary of this particular project that we are looking at. I must say, you are a success story for them.
Wow.
Well, thank you for your time.
Them also.
You should also thank them, actually. Yes, that is very true. But thank you for your time, Moses.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for hosting us. So wonderful. From Katwe to UBC, everyone is watching us. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is the national broadcaster. Thank you for your time. My time has also run out. From me and the entire business team, huge team, we do wish you a lovely weekend. We'll see you back Monday as we come Monday to Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Bring you the latest, and also having people like Moses here to, talk about what they do and why they do things like this.
Amen.
Good weekend.
Amen.
Yeah.